Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Mu'mineen, we are starting our Quran Gallery Exhibit Competition, Part 2. As you all know, we had session 1 before Maulana's speech. And since, alhamdulillah, we have a lot of youth who are participating in this competition and exhibit, we are having another session after Iftar now. Brother Zishan, I forgot to ask him the recitation. He has memorized the first 10 ayat of Surah, which Surah, beta?
Layl.
Surah Layl. So he's going to recite that. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Walayli iza yakhsha, wa nahari iza tajalla, wa ma khalaqa zakara wal unsa, wa inna sa'yakum la shatta, wa فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره فيسره لليسرى وأما من بخل واستغنى كذب بالحسنى الأسرة.
Thank you. So you got that, Zainab? To his thing, he memorized 10 lines, inshallah. Thank you, brother. Okay, so now we'll restart our competition. The first one is Brother Qasim Ali, and he will be doing surah. We'll ask him these questions. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Sorry, it's okay. I will ask you. Okay, so first, which surah have you prepared, Qasim?
The surah name is Surah Ala.
Surah Ala. Okay, you have the translation there and everything.
Yes.
Very good, mashallah. All right, so have you memorized the surah?
Yes.
Okay, can you please recite that?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى صدق الله العلي العظيم.
ما شاء الله. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. MashaAllah, that was excellent. Okay, so the first question we have for you is, can you explain what you have on your board?
On my board, I have the surah here, and over there it talks about the surah. And it says that Surah Al-A'la means the Most High. And this surah consists of 19 verses. And the surah was revealed in Makkah.
In Makkah. Okay. All right, so I'm going to ask you a question. So tell us, what is the main theme of the surah?
The main theme, the surah first talks about, it describes that Allah is the Most High and what He did, and it tells that about the Prophet and what he was sent down to do, and then he goes on to the mu'mineen, how some people prefer the worldly life, and why they don't care about the akhirat, because that's more long lasting and this world is short.
Okay, very good. Mashallah. All right, what are some benefits of reciting the surah?
The benefit of reciting the surah is that on the Day of Judgment, he will be said to that he can go into the paradise whenever he desires, and whichever door he wants to go through to paradise.
If you recite the surah.
Yes.
Okay. All right, any other interesting facts about the surah that you can tell us?
This surah is a al-musabihat surah because it begins with the glorification of Allah.
Okay. Do you know any other surah that starts with that? Bonus question.
No.
What is the question?
Surah start with the tasbih of Allah. So I was asking any other surah that has called a special name. What was the name you mentioned? What is it called? Can you keep it
Surah al-musabihat.
Musabbihat. This surah starts with the glorification of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes. Surah Jummah. Sabbih. Okay, so all right, so you have any pictures there? Can you tell us about those pictures?
Yes.
What do you have there?
This picture is on scrolls, and the surah talks about books, so like many scrolls, because back then I assumed and believed that they used scrolls instead of actual like textbooks and everything.
Okay.
And this picture is about the earth, and because people prefer the worldly life and they're holding the world.
Oh, in the hands.
Yes. And the judgment day, Allah talks about the judgment day, the judgment after the hereafter is longer and better than the worldly life.
Very good. Do you have any keywords to share with us?
Yes. Wal akhirah means hereafter. Al hayat al dunya means life of the world. An nar al kubra means great fire, and al ala means the most high.
Very nice. Now, what have you learned from this surah? Any du'as that you can get out of the surah? Like, can you ask something to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after learning something from the surah?
Yes.
What can you ask?
Oh Allah, please keep me on the straight path and away from the worldly life.
MashaAllah. Have you seen any hadith of Imam or Prophet that is talking about the description of the surah? Explains the more detail.
No.
You don't have that? And the 3 out of 5? Have you prepared those critical thinking questions? Special?
Yes.
Which ones have you prepared? Because I have here, I can tell you and then you can tell me any important message learned from surah, how it affects you personally. You have that?
Yeah. I can apply the message of the surah to my daily life by knowing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most high and the most powerful. Also that I should be worried about the day of judgment rather than the worldly life. The hereafter is much longer.
Subhanallah. Very good. Okay, how about this one? How does this surah connect to human conditions today, in today's life? Can you have some connection with today's life, the surah?
Yes. Lots of people don't care about the akhirat and like get everything they want from this world, and they don't prepare for their day of judgment. And they should do that.
Very good. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Muhammad. Okay, very nice. MashaAllah. All right, who is next, Sister Zainab? Okay, so Zainab Ali is next. She's bringing her board. And you have her number, Zainab? 7862. So you have it, right? You're going to keep track now. Come on.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. This is Zainab Ali. Please recite a salawat for her. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Which surah are you doing with?
Surah Infitar.
Fitar. You know what that means?
Infitar means the cleaving or to split asunder.
Very nice. Okay, do you have a translation there?
Oh, yes.
Have you written that yourself or you have cut and paste there?
No, I've written it myself.
Wow, mashallah, very nice, very nice. Okay, so when was this surah revealed and where?
It is a Meccan surah because it was revealed in Mecca, and I wasn't able to find out when exactly it was revealed, but I found out it was revealed during a similar time to another surah, Surah Takwir, which has similar content to the afterlife.
Oh, okay, very good. All right, so what is the main theme of this surah?
The main theme of this surah is the Day of Judgment and the afterlife. So,
That's the main theme. Anything else you want to share with any important facts about the surah?
it's mentioned in the surah different points about like when the physical world will end and the Day of Judgment will happen, like the angels that are appointed to different people to count men's different deeds, and also quote when the graves will be overturned. So details like that
It's in the surah.
show, yeah.
Very nice. Okay, so what are some benefits of reciting this specific surah?
Some benefits that of reciting this surah are they're good for the eyes. So it's said that after reciting this surah, you should blow into the eyes. And it's also said that if you ever find yourself into a situation where a prisoner, if they'll be forgiven, and even if their sins are that of the rain droplets, they'll still be forgiven.
Wow, mashallah. That's good information. आँखों के लिए काफी अच्छी है. It's very nice. Okay, you have any pictures on the board or no?
Yes, I have one quote from verse 6. O mankind, what has deluded you from your ever generous Lord? So that's one of my pictures.
Oh, okay. And have you memorized the surah? No? Okay, no problem. Keywords. You have any keywords there?
Yes, I have a few keywords. Cleft asunder, which is unfatarat. The graves, a soul, man, hellfire, the judgment, and other words that.
Okay, very good, very good. Now, questions. Can you derive a dua from this surah?
I didn't find it.
Can you think of something where you learned something and now you want
yeah.
to do a dua to Allah that to do something?
I learned more about the afterlife, which a lot of people aren't very conscious of, and they don't think that it's gonna come for everyone one day. So.
Okay. So, how would it affect you personally, this surah?
It affects me and it affects everyone really, because the Day of Judgment, everyone will be there present and they'll talk about what they did in their lifetime, and it's not something that you can ignore because it's inevitable.
Very good, mashallah, very nice. Okay, and how does this surah connect to human conditions today, in today's life?
Yeah, as I said, many people try to ignore it, but people like us, we take it into consideration, and we that's why we do the stuff we do throughout our daily life.
MashaAllah. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. Excellent. I'm sorry, Hamza? Okay, Hamza Musfi, you're next. Very good, Zainab. Very good job. Okay, come on. Can you open it more? This side too. That's good. MashaAllah, you got the picture here. Okay, so please recite salawat for Hamza. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Okay, Hamza, what surah have you prepared today for us?
The Surah Bayana.
Surah Bayana. Have you memorized the surah?
I memorized some of it.
How many lines? Can you do some for us?
Yeah.
Yeah? Hold on one second. Let me get this up. This one. Go ahead, start.
Just start.
Yeah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لم يكن لم يكن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين منفكين حتى تأتيهم البينة رسولا من الله يتلو صحفا مطهرة فيها كتب قيمة وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا وما تفرق الذين أوتوا الكتاب والمشركين إلا من بعد ما جاءتهم البينة وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا الله مخلصين له الدين وما حنفاء ويقيموا الصلاة ويؤتوا الزكاة ذلك دين القيمة إن الذين آمنوا كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين في نار جهنم خالدين فيها وما أولئك هم شر البرية إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات أولئك هم خير البرية جزاؤهم عند ربهم جنات عدن تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها حنفاء أبدا رضي الله ورضوا عنهم ورضوا عن ذلك لمن خشي ربه.
اللهم صل على محمد. You did it, mashallah, the whole surah. Excellent. Okay, so now tell us, when was this surah revealed and where?
Well, the surah was revealed in Medina, but well, I don't know like the specific year, but it was when the Christians and Jews are mentioned, and majority of conversations is Muslim, and the people of the book occurred in Medina. It's like
Medina, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what is the main theme? What is the surah talking about?
Well, bayana means the clear proof. So, like the surah, like well, it talks about like how
You can look at your board if you want.
So can you answer?
Have you written down there?
Yeah, but can you like see the question?
So, like, what exactly is talking about? What is the theme of this? I mean, the surah. What is the main theme of the surah?
Well, it's like so
what is
it's
it
like
talking about? What
proof?
verses? What are they talking about?
like the people of the book and like
Yeah.
people of the book and polytheists.
Mike.
Like they were set apart from community and faithful until the proof had come to them. Like that's like what the first ayah is mainly about. It's mainly about like the proof, and then like it goes in the middle. We have to pray zakat and do the upright religion. And it's also about like the book of polytheists, and there will be in the fire of hell.
Excellent. Very good job.
And remain in it forever.
Okay, very nice. Okay, so what are some benefits of the surah, reciting the surah? If you recite, do you get any benefits, special benefits?
Well, the Holy Prophet has said, neither a hypocrite nor those in whose hearts contain doubt to Allah recite it. By Allah, the nearest stationed angels have been reciting from the time the heavens and the earth was created, and do not languish in its recitation. And it also said, there will be no servant who recites it at night, but Allah sends angels who protect him in the faith and present life that will seek forgiveness and mercy to him.
Okay, very good. Any other interesting facts about the surah that you can tell us? Anything which was different, interesting, anything?
Well,
if you can see, if not, then you can move on. Yeah. You have any pictures on there?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are those pictures? Tell us.
Like it's like a picture of like people that are being honest, and mainly like something about women. So it's like about the proof, like how I don't know how to explain this, but.
What is this picture showing us? What are those two guys there? One with a beard, one without it. What's going on?
Well.
Okay. Let's
Like
move
it
to
says
the
like, how come your own people don't live by it? And then it's like saying honest and it's saying woman.
Okay. All right. Keywords. You have keywords for us?
Like a keyword is liyabudu, that means to worship.
Okay, good.
And there is kitabi, which means the book, and jahannama means hell.
Do you have reference here or no?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so can you derive a dua from this surah? Can you think of any dua that you can do to
Yeah.
Allah when you're after reciting this
it's
surah?
O Allah, we look to you, your grace, to gain the high rank of the best of all creatures, and to count us among the followers of the man who deserves this title, the best, and endow us with such a sincerity to worship and love nothing but you.
Very good. Any important messages that you learned from the surah personally? Did you learn anything for yourself?
Like
Would you do something different after reading this surah that it will change you? Would you do something new?
maybe like think and then like use like proof and evidence. Like you can't like always like get away without having proof.
Good.
So you always need proof.
Okay. And how does the surah connect to human conditions today?
The surah can be used to spread the message of Islam about the clear evidence which our holy prophet. Also, the surah talks about the people of the book, which are Christians and Jews, and we meet a lot of them living here today.
Excellent. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala wa ali Muhammad. Very good, mashallah. Good job, good job. Okay, so who's next, Zainab? Narjis Muswi's next. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So we have now a different age group now, Zainab? Zainab Razavi? Different age group? Is it older age group now? A little more. Okay, so how many more do we have? 3 more? Okay, so Narjis. So you have a lot of pictures, so we'll talk about those. So tell us, which surah have you done for us?
So I've done Surah Ghashiyah.
Surah Ghashiyah. What does the Ghashiyah means?
Okay, so Ghashiyah means either the calamity or the overwhelming. Different sources said different things.
Okay. You have translation there, I see
Yes.
that. Okay, that's good. And have you memorized the surah?
I memorized the first 11 ayah.
First 11 ayahs.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشعة عاملة ناصبة تصلى نار حامية تسقى من عين آنية ليس لهم طعام إلا من ضريع لا يسمن ولا يغني من جوع وجوه يومئذ ناعمة لسعيها راضية في جنات عالية لا تسمع فيها عينا.
في جنة.
Oh, no, it's the 11th ayah.
That's where you stop?
Yeah.
Okay, wow, that went pretty fast, mashallah. That's good, mashallah. All right, so what is this main theme? What is the main theme of the surah? What is it
Okay,
talking
so there are 2 main themes. The first part of the surah talks about the day of judgment and like what someone will see in heaven and hell. So like it talks like first it starts talking about, it says wujuhin yawmaidhin khashiyah. So some people, their faces will be weary and tired because they have done bad deeds, and so it talks about how in like the hellfire they'll face. So like they'll face like they only have like boiling water to drink, and the only food they'll be given is like this spiky prickly plant which will not satisfy their hunger. And then the next part starts talking about what heaven's gonna be like. People wujuhin yawmaidhin na'ima, so like their faces will be like satisfied and pleased because they have done good things, and so they'll have like springs and like rivers and fountains, and then there'll be like goblets for them to like drink from the rivers, and the big couches and pillows and like carpets for them to like relax and lounge. And then the second half of the surah talks about the belief in Allah through His creations. So it talks about like the mountains and how they're raised high by Allah, and like the camels and the skies and the heavens and the earth and how it's like spread out, and and then it's, this is the themes.
Very good, okay. All right, so can you give us some benefits of reciting this surah?
Okay, so some physical benefits. I found that it can be calming, and it can it can help toothaches, and also it can soothe a crying child. And then for spiritual, it can yeah, I can help have like a better accounting on the day of judgment when you're being judged and your deeds are being
Very
accounted for.
nice. Okay, so can you give us some more interesting facts about the surah? Anything else that you can share with us?
Well, first of all, it was revealed in Mecca, and so it was one of the first surahs, one of the first few surahs to be revealed. And an interesting fact that I found was that the reason why it was revealed was because the Meccans were like ignoring what the Prophet was saying, and so like this surah, so like it was revealed to like show like, okay, like, you know, this is like the benefits you'll get for, you know, being a good Muslim and being a good person, and obviously there are some disbenefits if you do not, you know, follow the right path. And then this goes into one of my keywords, but like there's a line that says فَذَكِّرْ إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مَذَكِّرْ, so it's telling Prophet Muhammad to remind all the people of Mecca, like, you know, remember what's going to happen to you if you're good and what's going to happen to you if you're a bad.
Very good. Very good, mashallah. Okay, you have a lot of pictures. Do you want to share with us what they mean?
Okay, so this is just a picture of like, you know, heaven and hell I found on the internet. And in the back I put mountains. In the back I put mountains, so like it tied into one of the verses. And then on this side it's hell, so like, you know, the hellfire, and then like the prickly fruit that I mentioned earlier. And then on that side is heaven, so like the rivers, and then like the goblet for like drinking that I mentioned also.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I see you do have some keywords there. Can you give us some?
Okay, so my first keyword is Ghashia, which is kind of obvious because it's the name of the surah, and as I mentioned before, it means calamity or the overwhelming in reference to the Day of Judgment. And then the second one is Narun, so like Nar, which is the fire, so it's reference to hellfire. The third one is Jannatin or Jannah, which means garden, and it's in reference to heaven. And then the fourth one is Ainan. Ain means spring, so I mentioned it twice. That's why I chose that word, because it talked about the boiling springs in heaven, in hell, versus the beautiful flowing springs in heaven. And then the fifth one is Fadakar, so remind. So as I mentioned earlier, Prophet Muhammad should remind the Meccans about the things they may face.
Very good. Okay, so now this is the older age group, so we are expecting more for these questions. So get ready. So which dua can we derive from the surah?
Okay, so dua I found online was said, "O Lord, on the day that all human beings will return to you, and upon you will be the taking of their account, bestow your grace on us." So basically, we're asking Allah that on the day of judgment, please help us and please be merciful and graceful to us, and obviously let us get into heaven.
Okay, very good. Did you find any hadith by Prophet?
Yes, I did. So this is a hadith from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
And it says, "He who recites the surah will be reckoned with an easy reckoning by Allah."
Okay, and how can you apply the message of the surah to your daily life?
So obviously, as I mentioned, surah is about, you know, heaven and hell, and I think it's like for me, like to reflect on it and to reflect on how by doing good deeds I will get these rewards, and obviously just, you know, just keep away from wrong things and wrongdoing, and also because it mentions like the beauty of Allah's creations and stuff, so like, you know, to appreciate everything around me.
Very nice, mashallah, very good answer. Okay, and then how does this connect to the human conditions today?
So my connection, I thought about with the revelation, how it was revealed because the Meccans were being ignorant and ignoring the signs that the Prophet was preaching Islam. And I think it's similar to today because there's a lot of ignorance and people do not want to listen to what is in front of them, and they will ignore all the signs that, you know, Allah exists and like the presence of God.
Very good. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. MashaAllah. Excellent job. You can put the mic down on the table, please. Thank you. You can take the board. So all the boards will be displayed in the back hall, so you guys can go and take a look at it after you're done here. They all have done a wonderful job, mashallah. So who's the next person? Zainab Muswi. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Nice background there.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Yeah, can you make it a little bit open? Yeah, that's good. That's much better. Now we can see it. Beautiful background there. So the first question I have for you, did you write that by yourself?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, mashallah. Very nice. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Loud salawat for her for that, please. Allah Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Which surah have you?
Surah Al-Shiqaq.
Okay, so have you memorized the surah?
No.
Okay. You have a translation there, I see. Right?
Yes, I do.
You do have a translation, good. And so when was the surah revealed and where?
The surah was revealed in Makkah, so it was one of the earlier surahs revealed, so I didn't find like the exact time period it was revealed in, but it said it was one of the earlier surahs.
Earlier surahs, okay. So tell us about the surah, what have you learned?
The surah is basically saying what's going to happen on the Day of Judgment, like where you're going to get your book of good deeds and bad deeds placed. So if you do good in this world, then you get your book of good deeds in your right hand, and if you do bad, you get your book of deeds behind your back.
Okay. Very good. And what are some benefits of reciting the surah?
Some of the benefits of reciting the surah is that the person who recites the surah, then Allah won't give them his or her book of deeds from their back. It'll get him in one of the hands.
Just one of them. Okay. Any other?
That was like the only one I found.
Fine. All right. So, any other interesting facts that you have found about the surah?
Not really.
Not really. It's okay. All right. Do you have pictures there too? I see.
Yeah, I have a
you have
picture.
a nice background. What's the background all about? Anything specific for surah?
It's kind of. I mean, if you do bad in this world, so surah can be kind of depressing for you. So this is a nice background to remind you to do good, and then yeah.
You're happy about it? Okay, good. It's got a good theme. And then I see some mizan there, right?
Yeah, that's the
Day of Judgment.
scale. Yeah.
Scale, very good. All right, so you have keywords for us?
Yeah. Well, the biggest, I guess, the main key word of the surah is inshiqaq, which is the first, or in the first verse of the surah, which means a split asunder, and that's what the name of inshiqaq is derived from.
Okay, and you have a reference list there, right?
Yes.
All right, good. All right, so which dua can you recite, can you derive from the surah?
I found online that the dua that comes with this is, "O Lord, take our reckoning easy on the day when all attend at your judgment. O Lord, help us to go the right path when all human beings are ever toiling on towards you until they meet you. O Lord, we have obeyed your message in the Holy Qur'an. Bestow on us the grace to act accordingly."
MashaAllah, very nice. Any message that you personally have learned from the surah?
I think that the surah reminds us all about the Day of Judgment to do good, and that if we don't, I guess, do the best that we can do in this hereafter, then we have to suffer the consequences in the Day of Judgment.
Excellent. And one last question. How does the surah connect to the conditions today in the world?
Well, I guess people don't realize that whatever the actions they do today can affect them, and like what happens after we die isn't really clear, or people don't really think about it. So I guess this surah really, I guess, brings it more to light to what we could do to make ourselves better.
Excellent. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. Okay, so we have one more, right? Three more, mashallah. So who's next, Zainab? Masima Musbi is next. Who's next? Masima? Okay. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ali. Wow, even better background. Look at this. Constellation.
I don't know if it's going to stay open though.
Can you try to open a little more? Because it looks like we have a nice, beautiful there. That's good. Yeah, that's better. Excellent. So before you want to ask you what surah, Walaikum Assalam. What is the background telling us?
So Surah Buruj means the constellations. So the background is like the galaxies and the constellations.
Beautiful. Very nice. Okay, so have you memorized the surah?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so let's, Bismillah, go ahead.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والسماء ذات البروج واليوم الموعود وشاهد ومشهود قتل أصحاب الأخدود النار ذات الوقود إذ هم عليها قعود وهم على ما يفعلون بالمؤمنين شهود وما نقموا منهم إلا أن يؤمنوا بالله العزيز الحميد الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض والله على كل شيء شهيد إن الذين فتنوا المؤمنين والمؤمنات ثم لم يتوبوا فلهم عذاب جهنم ولهم عذاب حريق إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار ذلك فوز الكبير إن بطش ربك لشديد إنه هو يبدئ ويعيد وهو الغفور الودود ذو العرش المجيد فعال لما يريد هل أتاك حديث الجنود فرعون وثمود بل الذين كفروا في تكذيب والله من ورائهم محيط بل هو قرآن مجيد في لوح محفوظ صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. That was mashallah excellent, perfect. Okay, so when was the surah revealed and where?
So the surah was revealed in Mecca, and it was revealed at a time where the believers were being persecuted for becoming Muslim, and so the disbelievers felt that if they hurt the believers, that it would scare them and make them revert back to idol worshipping.
Okay, so can you give us the main theme of the surah?
So there are three themes of the surah. So the first theme was that Allah will punish those who are disbelievers and hurt His believers, and the second theme is that Allah will reward those who are His believers and do good deeds, and the third theme is that Allah is all powerful and all knowing.
MashaAllah, very good. All right, some benefits of reciting the surah?
Okay, so it said that in the reward for reciting the surah is that you'll be rewarded 10 times as much as the amount of people present on the day of Arafat and the day of judgment.
Okay, and some other...
and you will be provided with closeness with the imams and the prophets.
MashaAllah, very good. And are there any other interesting facts that you can share?
Yes. In the beginning of the surah, it references the story of the people of the ditch. And this was a story where the people were ruled by a king who said that he was their God. And the people believed in Allah, so they said that, no, that you're not our God. And so the king said that if you don't say that I'm your God, then I'm going to kill you guys. So the people said, fine. So he dug trenches all around the city and put all the people in it and set it on fire, and still the people didn't leave the trenches and give up worshipping Allah, and so they were rewarded with paradise.
MashaAllah, very nice. All right, so any keywords you have?
Yes, so Surah Buruj, Buruj means the constellations, and then Ashabu, the companions, An-Nari, the fire, with the fire which referenced the people of the ditch, and then Bil Mu'minina, so the believers, and then Samawati, the heavens, Fatanu, the prosecuted, and yeah.
Very good. All right, so what dua can you derive from the surah?
I couldn't find a dua or hadith that you could derive from the surah, but yeah.
Can you think of any dua yourself? Because after reading the surah that you can ask Allah?
So the surah talks about how Allah will protect His believers. So if you ask Allah for protection, then He will grant it for you, and you don't have to be scared of being Muslim, especially in nowadays.
Excellent. You answered the last question here. All right. So any important, which is good, important message that you learned from surah personally?
Yes, I learned that you shouldn't be scared to be Muslims and be believers, because Allah will always provide you protection, and that you should be proud of your faith and not be scared.
Okay, very good. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. You have something else to share with us?
Yeah, human conditions. Huh? I had a lot for human conditions.
Okay, you want to share something else?
Yeah. So basically,
that's fine.
The surah really related to the human conditions of today, because it talked a lot about oppressors, and there are a lot of oppressors nowadays who hurt people around them. So I was just giving a few examples of for example, in Saudi Arabia, there was Sheikh Nimr who was prosecuted because of his religion, basically, and they said that he was causing trouble, but all he did was ask for the right to vote.
Subhanallah.
Yeah, so that was one of them. Another one was how Israel has oppressed the Palestinian people. So that related to stories of Pharaoh and Thamud that were mentioned in the surah.
Very nice, mashallah. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Excellent job, mashallah, overall. Very nice. Bahut acha. All right, so the next participant. Faria. Okay. Faria, आपका last name क्या है? Tahir. Faria Tahir. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Wow, mashallah, very nice background. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So the art that you have on the side, have you made this or is it pre-made?
No, I made it with what's it called? Mold.
Oh wow, mashallah, you see that? Can you guys see that on the side that he has a nice leaves and flowers? I guess beautiful. Okay, so what surah are you doing?
Surah Tariq.
Surah Tariq. Okay, so have you memorized the surah?
No.
No. Okay. So tell us about the surah. What is it talking about? What's the main theme of the surah?
So there are two main themes. It starts off first and foremost talking about how mankind is created and where we originate from and where we're headed, and then it transitions into discussing how the Qur'an is the decisive word.
Subhanallah. Okay. And when was the surah revealed and where was it revealed?
It was revealed in Mecca, and it was revealed shortly after the disbelievers in Mecca were trying to foil the message of the Holy Quran.
Very good. Okay, and what are some benefits of reciting the surah?
Some physical benefits of reciting the surah are that if you read it over medicine, it can amplify the effects of medicine, and if you read it over your food, it can protect you from harm.
Wow, mashallah. Very good. And any other interesting facts that you can share with us about the surah?
So the surah has 17 ayahs, and something that I found particularly interesting was that nature is oftentimes cited in the surah as a point of reflection to get the believers to think about their afterlife and also to remember Allah.
Very nice. Okay, you have pictures too, or the background you have it there, right? Okay. And any keywords from the surah?
Some keywords are tariq, which means night visitant or star, saqib, which means piercing, what else? Hafiz, which means protector, and amhilhum, which means to give respite to.
Okay. And you do have a reference list there somewhere?
Yeah, it's at the bottom.
Okay, very nice. All right, so what dua can you derive from the surah?
So a dua that I personally thought was relevant was, Ya Allah, please increase our faith so that on the day of judgment we are not the cause of shame for ourselves. And Ya Allah, you are our only protector. May we only rely on you.
Excellent, mashallah. Did you find any hadiths of Imam or Prophet?
Yeah, so from Imam Jafar Sadiq,
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil faraj.
His hadith says that the person who is aware of the present situations of his time will never get involved with falsifying and wrongdoing.
Okay, and how can you apply the message of this surah in your daily life?
So with the current political climate, it can kind of be discouraging to be visibly Muslim. It can feel really challenging. And I think that the surah is a really beautiful reminder that we shouldn't rely on this world and this dunya to be our protection, and that our protection can only come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Subhanallah. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Thank you.
Muhammad.
All right, who's next? Yeah, wow, mashallah. She's taking the challenge. MashaAllah. Loud salawat for Sakina Jafri. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. MashaAllah. Yeah, looks like Masuma, you have a big challenge now.
I definitely can be Masuma. I just want to put that display.
Oh wow, you have more decoration there. Hold this. Can you open it? Walaikum salam. Yeah, so we can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's much better now. All right. So, what surah are you doing?
Surah Tariq.
Surah Tariq. What is the title there?
Over here. Surah Tariq.
Oh, there it is. Okay. But that's 10 points right there. Challenge, pressure में डालना है. Okay. Did you memorize surah?
I did not get to memorize surah.
Okay.
Although Masuma was trying to help me memorize it.
That's all right.
But I am very
lines?
weak in that.
No problem.
So.
And where and when was the surah revealed?
The surah was revealed in Makkah. It is the 86th surah of the Quran, has 17 ayats to it.
Okay, what is the main theme of the surah?
The main theme of the surah is talking about the way we were created and talking about resurrection and how we should. Allah is our divine protector.
Any other interesting facts you want to share with us from the surah?
Yeah, so the last few ayats of the Quran talks about the punishment of the disbelievers and how the disbelievers, if they are not believing in Allah, Allah is merciful, and through His mercy, He is allowing them to exist, and He is not perishing them, even though there's proof that they're disbelievers. He is giving them ample time to ask for forgiveness, and they have until until they die to ask for forgiveness. And then Allah will then at the day of judgment judge everybody accordingly.
Do you have any keywords that you want to share?
Yeah, so some of the keywords is tariq. What tariq means a nightcomer. An-najmu is a star. An-nasrin is the helper. And kafirina is the disbelievers. Few keywords.
Okay. What dua can you derive from this surah?
Dua. So the benefits of reading.
Go ahead, tell us the benefits.
Okay, the benefits of reciting the surah is if you recite the surah in your daily namaz, that you will get a higher position with Allah. And if you recite the surah 10 times, Allah will reward you with the amount of stars in the sky.
MashaAllah. Wow.
Yeah. So reciting the surah is not just the benefit of just reciting it, but if you recite it with the benefit knowing that Allah is the forgiver, and He's the ultimate forgiver, and He's the ultimate creator, and He's the one who takes life away, is when we get closer to Allah and hopefully increase our taqwa.
Excellent. All right. And did you find any hadith from Prophet or Imam?
Yeah. So actually, what I derive from the surah, and I know we had somebody else just present it, but what I derive from the surah is I took a little bit, and I found it a bit of a metaphor, because the person who is the night vigilant, it made me think of Imam Ali. And so Imam Ali, during the middle of the night when everybody else was sleeping, would go and arrive at people's houses, and he was the one who was to help people. So if you go through the translation, it's saying by the heavens, Allah is taking an oath by the heaven of the night visitor, and will show you what is a night, and what will show you what is a nightly visitor. It is a brilliant star. So if I think of it as a metaphor, Imam Ali was a brilliant star for the Al-Abad. And for all of us, actually. And he is a guard over every soul. So he's been guarding over us, and so it made me think of how we say Ya Ali, as as Mu'mineen, we say Ya Ali all the time. We're asking for Mullah's help. And so actually one of the other hadiths is that Tariq means a nightcomer. One time when Imam Ali was at home, or at night, a man came to him for a trial for a crime, and he tried to bribe Imam Ali with some honey, and he thought Imam would sentence him lightly because of the bribe. But obviously the Imam did not accept his bribe. And the Imam, and it said in Najah Balagha, a stranger incident than this is a man came to us in the night with a closed flask of honey paste. So Imam is not bribed by people's actions.
MashaAllah. Okay, so how can you apply the message of this surah in your daily life?
So, like I was saying earlier, if we recite it, we get closer to Allah, and it increases our taqwa. But the other thing it reminded me of my death. So our death is obviously going to happen, and how all of our deeds are open and hidden, and they're only known by Allah. And the enemy, and the surah reminds me that there will always be enemies of Allah, because towards the end He talks about the disbelievers of the surah at the end of the surah, and they're enemies of Islam. And it is our duty to spread the word of Allah. Additionally, by reciting the surah, I can be reassured that disbelievers and evildoers are given respite due to Allah's mercy and a chance to return to the truth. If they do not change their actions, they'll be accountable for their bad deeds. This reminds me that we should not lose hope, and that we should be patient and not take revenge upon the enemies of Islam, because Allah will judge them accordingly. So that made me think of that.
Allahumma salli ala
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. This surah also mentioned, one of the interesting facts is mentioned about the Saturn, and at that time there were no high visibility telescopes. So the surah also talks about how the star that was one of the stars that's visible, seventh star from the moon, is the Saturn. And so Saturn, you can see it visible without a telescope, but people did not really know what it was. So it was piercing in the sky.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. You want to do it?
Other questions?
Sure. All right, so you want to do Surah Asr quickly. Can she do it? All right, go ahead. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
والعصر
والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. MashaAllah, thank you, good job. MashaAllah, I think we finished our gallery exhibit, but we do want everyone to please, if you can take a few minutes, go back into the ladies' hall. They're all lined up nicely. You can just take one take and see all of the boards. And please appreciate they have worked hard for this. So just let's go back quickly and take a look at everyone's board. And loud salawat for everyone. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil.